Day 2 of a Railfan's Gap Trail adventure. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back to another video. This is day 2 of my Gap Trail adventure. More bridges, more tunnels, more viaducts, and finally some railroad equipment. The longest day on the trail, 57 miles from Rockwood to Connellsville, just past Connellsville. Let's go. So here's my camp stove, cooking some oatmeal in the morning. Beautiful scenery along the early part of this ride. As you can see, just beautiful bucolic scenery. Met some nice fishermen at this crossing here by the river. Beautiful morning. This stretch outside of Ohio Pile was really dramatic, with a viaduct, a bridge, and a viaduct in close proximity. And so this was featured on my Facebook post immediately after the trip because it was so much visual interest in such a short stretch. The river kind of forked here around this mountain that the tunnel goes through. So a really dramatic scene, as you can see. Leaves starting to turn. The gorge on the other side seems a lot deeper, so there must have been a drop on the other side. There must have been some falls on the other side that were outside my view. This was the Pinkerton Tunnel that I'm going through here, and you'll be glad to know that I'm not going to subject you to what I did on the first day's video, which was the entire tunnel. When the light starts to fail, you'll see we jump ahead to exit the tunnel. Still scary and long, though. We're just getting ready to leave the tunnel, and as you'll see, immediately go out onto a longer viaduct with a really nice view. On the right-hand side here, you'll see a granite obelisk. There was one of these every mile on the trail. That's 50-something miles showing there. Really nice landmarks, helping you keep track of your progress through the day. Here we go out onto this other really long viaduct. Just beautiful scenery. You can see this seems a lot higher than the last one. Maybe it was just my imagination, but beautiful view, trees starting to change colors. Just a beautiful morning to be out on the bike. This is around mile 52, 54, something like that. So it's really on the outskirts of the town of Ohio Pile, really getting close. Beautiful tunnel of leaves and the trees, just spectacular. Never really alone on the trail. This next little clip I've included to show you that there's another cyclist out here, even though it's relatively early in the morning. If something had ever happened on the trail, there would have been somebody to help me if there'd been a problem. So it was really not a very isolated and dangerous experience in any way. Here's the obligatory daily selfie drive-by. Unfortunately, the camera kind of focused on the front of the railing here, so it didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped. Here's the charming town of Ohio Pile. As you can see, this depot is very well maintained. Really cool color scheme. I went inside and got a soda or something. And there's going to follow here a little helmet cam shot, just so you can see how hard it is to get on the bike and get going. The bike weighed a lot. So here I am getting on the bike, getting ready to leave Ohio Pile and try and get this behemoth of a bike underway. Wasn't sure which way that guy was going, so I had to wait for him to establish which way he was going. Aha, okay, I can proceed. Another couple, many couples out on the trail riding together. It's nice to see. I certainly missed Rose during the trip. Now I'm crossing this bridge over some of the rapids at Ohio Pile. Down below here, there's some nice restaurants that we later explored with Rose and her mother when her mother was in town. This is kind of on the way to Falling Water, Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, so it's a nice, quaint little town to stop and have lunch. Beautiful river, really widens out, shallows, gets shallow here, and creates a lot of really nice rapids, so just a spectacular spot. And of course here we're at mile 72. I think we just missed the sign, and so that means I'm 30 miles into the trip already, so I was feeling pretty good at this point. I'd taken on some calories and I was ready to take on the rest of the trip. A lot of the trip again was just like this, riding through the woods. I've spared you most of that just so you can see the highlights and the exciting part, and certainly one of the exciting parts is this next viaduct, which is extremely high and has just an absolutely tremendous view through a gorge, rapids down below. Absolutely one of those places where if I didn't feel the press of time to cover all the miles I had to cover every day, I would have stopped here and gotten the camera out and taken a few more pictures and just enjoyed the glory of nature, because it's absolutely glorious, as you can see. Look at the sun spilling across the gorge onto the walls. Just spectacular.
Thank you. Well, I've been lamenting the lack of railroad archaeology, so here's at least a little something. There in the center of the screen is what's left of the railroad telegraph.
Here's a few more shots of telegraph poles along the ride. I was soon in Connellsville, which had this awesome depot, just a beautiful depot. Boy, talk about something to model. There was also this beautiful bay window B&O caboose as you entered town, a little campground there. First real piece of railroad equipment. Milepost 99, I know that within the next mile I'm going to come to my campsite for the night. Aha, up ahead I see a structure that turned out to be the bathroom for the campground. So you see I'm starting to slow down. I stopped in Connellsville and got a sub sandwich and a couple bottles of water, so I was all prepared for the night. Really looking forward to stopping. It was like 3 o'clock, so I had several hours to get ready. There's a sign for the campground, so I stopped.
Well, it's been miserably hot during the ride today. Somebody told me it was in the 90s, but it's supposed to be down in the 60s. Tonight, I'm done with the longest ride of the little epic trip here, 57 miler. Plenty of time to get ready. This is the Roundbottom campground. I believe the guide said there was room here for 150 tents, but tonight there's only one person, me. I'll give you a quick video tour. I'm going to go ahead and use the shelter. That way I don't have to put up a fly. I can get the nice cool breezes as it cools down tonight. It's supposed to cool down. The river is out that way behind that little shelter. The river is all along there. Other shelters down there. And there's the trail. There was a sign that said there was potable water. I don't think there is any. The toilet is up there. Although I'm unlikely to use it. But again, I'll be using this shelter. Cheating maybe, but it'd be great to get a long night's sleep. See you tomorrow. Well, a little bit of a retrospective on day 2. It was not as hard as day 1. Despite getting the 9:30 start, which was pretty late, I still managed to get here in plenty of time to set up. Unfortunately, I lost some time chatting with a gregarious fellow camper. But got here in plenty of time to set up, got a shelter, eating some dinner. Sorry, I keep looking over at my BioLite stove, which is in full cry over there, getting ready to boil some water for a cup of hot cocoa. Well, I'm back. Nice cup of hot cocoa here with freeze-dried whole milk and cocoa powder. That's pretty good. So back to my retrospective, Connellsville. You know, there's a bunch of nice little towns, and Connellsville certainly is fine. I wouldn't do this again 50 miles a day. I'd do it 30 miles a day, stay in B&Bs occasionally, just to break it up and to have more time. There's a lot of amazing scenery I wasn't able to take photographs of. So 30 miles a day would obviously be a lot easier, and I think that's how I'll do it the next time. Maybe with my wife, but definitely not these 50-day slogs. They just take too much of the day riding and not enough of the time stopping and enjoying the little towns along the way. So that's probably what I'll do. But I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. I think I'll sleep fine. I'll set an alarm and be out of here early so I can take my time going to Pittsburgh. There's a lot of rail stuff in Pittsburgh and along the way to Pittsburgh that I'd like to get. So, but it was another good day on the trail. They're all good. This was a good one. Good night.
Well, thank you for watching. You've come all this way. I really appreciate it. If you like this content, please consider subscribing and hitting the little bell icon to receive notifications of my future content, including day 3, my last day on the trail. Until next time, this is Bob Johnson with PK&W Railroad signing off. Happy rail fanning, happy photography, but most of all, happy modeling. Bye until next time.